everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ellie if you've never been here before, and on this channel I upload whatever I want. Today I'm coming at you with a video that I have seen over the years. I have definitely been curating this list over the past few weeks and I've been wanting to upload this video. I have just not have had time to film it. I've had plenty of time to edit it but there's nothing to edit because I haven't filmed it yet, so hopefully I can get it done today and film this video for you guys, get it edited and uploaded so you can see. But obviously you clicked on the video so you saw the title, but I am going to be telling you my 10 before the end. This is my end of the year TBR. The day that I'm filming this is currently November 10th, so I have 3 more weeks this month and then 4.5 more weeks next month, so about 7.5 weeks to get through these 10 books. A lot of them are for like Buzzword Reading Challenge, book club. Actually, I don't think any of these are for book club because I read my book club book already. So these are the books that I'm hoping to read for Tackling the TBR, Buzzword, or just seasonal reads, which I should be able to get through them if they were the only books that I was going to be reading. But I also have books that I want to read for book club coming up. I think there's only gonna be 1 more book for the year, so we're kind of fine on that front. But sometimes other reading plans just pop up or arise, so I'm really hoping to kick it into high gear for the rest of the month. I did finish 1 book already in November, hoping to finish another. So without further ado, let's get right into the list of books. The one I'm going to start with is actually the book that I'm currently reading right now. That book is West Side Love Story. This is by Priscilla Oliveras. I have talked about this book on my channel before, but I picked this up because I went on a trip recently with my mom to San Antonio, Texas. I will link that vlog up here, but before going on the trip, I really wanted to bring a book with me that was set in San Antonio, so that way I could read a book that takes place in San Antonio while I'm in San Antonio. Obviously, reading wise, other things kind of entered the plan, and I ended up taking 3 physical books with me and I didn't finish a single one while I was there. And I actually read out of all, actually the one that I had planned to read first was the one that I didn't even touch. I did bring it with me, but I didn't touch it at all. But the other 2 are the ones that I ended up starting and not finishing. I have since finished Regretting You, but the other book I will talk about actually after this one. I started reading this a few days ago, obviously not during my trip to Texas or even immediately after, but I am actually really enjoying this. This is about rivaling mariachi bands, and it is a Romeo and Juliet retelling. So if you know anything about Romeo and Juliet, it is forbidden love, but it's like a battle of the bands, but it's battle of the mariachi bands. Mariana is the main female character. Angelo or Angelo is the main male character. And Mariana's family, actually, I was pleasantly surprised with this in the book. Actually, I don't know if it's a spoiler. It's not in the synopsis, but maybe it's not a spoiler. I don't think it's a spoiler. You find out pretty early on in the story that Mariana is actually part of a foster family. So her and her sisters, who are all foster sisters, I think a couple of them might be biological, but they're raised together. It's a all-girl mariachi band, and so it's definitely more modern, not necessarily traditional, and so they have that kind of going against them because a lot of people in their area are like all for tradition. So that is something that I've like really been drawn to. Mariana is also the oldest. I'm the oldest sister, so I've definitely been enjoying this one so far, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I am 76 pages in. It is only 313 pages, so it should be a pretty quick read. I just need to dedicate time to this. So this is one of the 10 books that I want to finish before the end of the year. This next book is also started, and it's probably going to be the next book that I read after I finish West Side Love Story. But as you can see, this is The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. In my most recent videos, I guess they're not recent, but in previous videos before this one that you're watching, I've talked about future reading plans or just reading plans in general. This is one of the books that I brought with me to Texas because my mom and I are buddy reading this. I have no idea how far along she is, but she kickstarted my Throne of Glass journey. So this is one of the books that I would like to finish before the end of the year. I have barely started it, and I haven't started a video for it. I'm still in the first novella, The Assassin and the Pirate Lord. If you didn't know anything about Throne of Glass, there's a whole different reading order, or suggested reading order, but there's a lot of suggested reading orders. So I am starting with The Assassin's Blade. Some people read this third, some people read this last. I'm reading it first, obviously, but it is a prequel, and I think there are 5 novellas in this book. Yes. So I'm currently in the first novella, The Assassin and the Pirate Lord. I've heard that they kind of just like go back to back, so it just reads as one big book, which I'm excited for. I have started, I guess, my Throne of Glass journey. I'm really hoping to vlog this for you. I don't think I'm far enough in that like you're missing out on anything that I've read so far, but I will save all of my thoughts for this for that separate video. So I'm hoping that I can read this pretty quickly, so that way I can vlog that and get it up for you. So this is the second book. I don't really have a particular order, but in the vein of books that I said I was going to read a while ago and still haven't, you can probably guess if you keep up with my Goodreads or any books that I say I'm going to read. Yes, Onyx Storm. This is probably like the 6th video at this point that I have said, this is the next book I'm going to read, this is the next book I'm going to read, and I haven't. And it's terrible. I feel like I've mentioned what this is or what it's about so many times, but the goal is to read this as soon as possible. I'm not even going to put a date on it other than the end of the year, but I'm also trying to vlog this and upload a Onyx Storm reading vlog as well. So Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. If you haven't heard or seen anything about this book series, this is the 3rd book in the Empyrean series. There are going to be 5 books, and I think another reason why I don't feel a big push to read this one, besides the fact that it is long, which some of these books on this stack are kind of long, but anyways, other than that is the fact that the books in this series are only being released every other year. So Rebecca Yarros, the author, is on a contract with her publisher to release a book in the Empyrean series every odd year. I think she releases a non-Empyrean series book every even year. So she might be coming out with a book in 2026, but it will not be 4th Wing Empyrean series related. So I feel like because I have all of 2026 to read this before the next one, I feel like that might be a reason that's holding me back, or maybe that's just an excuse I'm coming up with in this very moment. But yeah, I want to read this. I'm definitely going to be reading it on my Kindle because the font in this is so small and the margins are small as well. But yeah, I loved the first 2 books in this series, so I've seen people really love this one as well. So I need to read it really badly. If you didn't like Onyx Storm, please don't tell me. But if you did enjoy Onyx Storm, please convince me to read this in the comments. I'm gonna read it, but maybe your thoughts or your pushes, what's the word? I don't know. Your comments will progress me forward and give me more motivation to actually pick this up. The rest of these are really in no particular order, so I'm just gonna start pulling from the stack. We have Beartown by Frederick Bachman. I'm not sure if I put this on my fall TBR. I don't think I did, but this is definitely on like my fall winter TBR. I haven't like made a winter TBR really, but this is just kind of like in my head as a winter book. I mean, look at this. Look at this cover. It's stunning. The blues, the winter, the snow, the ice hockey, like I just really want to read this. But anyways, I don't know a lot about what this book is about. It has hockey elements, but I don't think hockey is the plot. I think it's more like a community, and a community that has to overcome something huge and how they join together to overcome that thing. That's really all I want to know about it. I've heard people sob to this. I've heard people love this, and I've never read a Frederick Bachman before, so this is on my 10 before the end. It is a little bit thicker. I mean, it's over 400 pages, which is thick in my book. Anything 400 and above is a lot of pages. So we're keeping up with the trend here, I guess. But yeah, this, I'm so excited to read this. I guess if there's any books in this stack that you loved, please let me know. If you didn't necessarily like something, maybe this isn't the video to comment that. Maybe another one of my videos of like a wrap up or something, because I need the motivation to get through this list. The next book is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I know, I haven't read this. I have not read this book. I also haven't read Beach Read by Emily Henry or her newer novels. Great Big Beautiful Life, Funny Story. I haven't read either of those. The ones that I have read are Book Lovers and Happy Place. Those might be the only two Emily Henrys I have read. But I've loved everything that I've read so far. So the main reason why I want to read this one before the end of the year, it is in my Tackling the TBR series, which is I think a big reason why I haven't picked it up. I've just been kind of waiting for it to be pulled. This is 361 pages. I've kind of just been waiting for it to come up randomly in the challenge, but I might have to force the hand of my Tackling the TBR series and just pick it up and read it. I really, really want to read it because the Netflix movie is coming out and Tom Blythe. Enough said, am I right? Also because I am just the type of person that wants to read everything before I watch it, and I don't know, maybe I'll reach out to my friends and we'll have a watch party. I need to read it terribly. This one is about, I don't even know. Oh my goodness. I've heard so much about Alex and Poppy, so I know they're the main characters in here. I think they're like, is it second chance, or maybe it's like childhood friends to lovers, or both. As you can see, I do like to go with my books knowing pretty much nothing. So yeah, I'm excited. I love Emily Henry's writing. I love Happy Place. Like, that is probably one of my favorite books of all time. So it was definitely one of my favorite reads of the year. So I'm very excited to read more Emily Henry. The next book I'm actually going to pop up on the screen. This is They Both Die at the End. This book is by Adam Silvera. This is actually a series. It is a 389 page book, so it's nearing a big book for me. Bestie Ryan is gonna flip when she realizes I want to read this and read this quickly, because this is like one of her favorite books of all time. This is set in a world where I think there's an app, or maybe is it an app? No. Something called Deathcast calls you on your last day of life. And there's an app called Last Friend, and I think on that app you can meet up with people or just know, I guess, who else is spending their last day. So you can spend it with them, I think. And yeah, hence the title, They Both Die at the End. I'm really, really excited. A lot of people that I like watch content, book content on YouTube, any of the apps, follow on Goodreads, they've rated it 5 stars, so I'm really, really excited to see what I think about it. Me and Ryan have very similar reading tastes, so I trust what she has to say, but obviously you never know. Sometimes you don't enjoy the same book, so I'm excited. Another reason why I want to read this, besides just reading it before the end of the year, is because this is actually going to double dip for me for Buzzword Reading Challenge. October's title prompt is violent words, and I think die is a violent word. But also, the cover needs to have weapons on it, and it has the Grim Reaper with the scythe. So this book is going to double dip, and I'm excited for that because I am determined to finish Buzzword Reading Challenge. Oh, also, I'll just hold it up. Beartown, I'm counting for December's prompt as well. So besides just reading this in the winter, the cover prompt for December needs to be monochromatic, and so all the blues on here are for why I'm choosing that. But you will see the next book that I talk about will also fit December's prompt, I think. So I'm just gonna try to see what I can do on that front. The next book I want to read before the end of the year is Today, Tonight, and Tomorrow. This book is by Rachel Lynn Solomon, which I have actually read a couple books, maybe I've only read one, by Rachel Lynn Solomon. I'm not sure, but I know she's from Washington or from Seattle. The books that I've read Business or Pleasure. Maybe I haven't read another one. I know Ryan during our 24-hour readathon read The X Talk, and that's also by her, and I think it's also based in Seattle. I don't know if this book in particular is going to be set in Washington or Seattle. It does. Okay, that actually makes me more excited to read this. But anyways, this is Today, Tonight, Tomorrow. It's a duology, but it does have a novella in between. But this book was released in 2020 and the second book was actually released last year in 2024. So that's pretty cool. But the synopsis says The Hating Game meets Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, which I haven't read Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, but I loved The Hating Game. And Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist is giving like bucket list type concept, and I love those types of books or movies typically. So this says The Hating Game meets Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist by way of Morgan Matson in this unforgettable romantic comedy about two rival overachievers, excited for that, whose relationship completely transforms over the course of 24 hours. Today she hates him. It's the last day of senior year. Rowan Roth and Neil McNair have been bitter rivals for all of high school, clashing on test scores, student council elections, and even gym class pull-up contests. You know what that sounds like? Never Have I Ever, Davy and Ben. I'm really excited to read this now. Howl, a senior class game that takes them all over Seattle, a farewell tour of the city she loves. So I'm so excited. This sounds like it has so much that I think I will enjoy. So I'm very, very, very excited to read this one. It's like moving towards the top of the list. Like I'm gonna read this one quickly. I'm also gonna read it on my Kindle, which I've been loving reading on my Kindle lately. I mean, I feel like once you get into the Kindle world, you're kind of like stuck, you know? Like I love reading on my Kindle, so this is gonna be a Kindle option. So excited for when I get to it. All right, we're nearing the end. The next book I wanna read before the end of the year, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This does not fit a prompt for Buzzword Reading Challenge, but I can't believe I haven't read this yet. I have read Daisy Jones and the Six, 6-star read, and I own Malibu Rising, I haven't read it. But I've heard that this and Daisy Jones are like top tier Taylor Jenkins Reid's book. Oh, I've also read One True Loves, but I've heard that this is like top tier Taylor Jenkins Reid books, and so I have to read it. If you have been living under a rock and you don't know what this book is about, what is it about? A Hollywood icon named Evelyn Hugo, and she's, I think, telling her life story to a reporter or maybe reporters. And there's like just a lot of drama and craziness. And that's all I want to know, I think. So yeah, I need to read this. This is also part of the Tackling TBR, and I just have not pulled it out of the Jellycat bag. So I need to read this ASAP. It'll probably be coming up in a Tackling TBR episode soon because I'm just gonna pull it myself because it's not coming out of that bag and I need to read it before the end of the year. I need to. 2 more books. This next book is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. This is by Benjamin Alir Science. I have owned this book for so long. When I was going to college, my university library was giving these away, and me and my roommate, Bestie, were like, okay, and we both pulled them off. I think she rated it like 5 stars, so I'm excited to see what I think. But one thing I do love, the margins are huge, and there's a lot of like pages like this where there's not a lot of words, but also like prose, like kind of like this. So there's a lot of awards, like look at that cover. So I'm really excited to read this. I feel like it's gonna be different, and there's also a movie. I'm excited to rent the movie from my library and read it. But wait, and read it and watch it after I read this. I'll read a little bit of the synopsis since I really don't even know what it's about. Again, of course. Dante can swim, Ari can't. Dante is articulate and self-assured. Ari has a hard time with words and suffers from self-doubt. Dante gets lost in poetry and art. Ari gets lost in thoughts of his older brother who is in prison. Dante is fair-skinned, Ari's features are much darker. It seems that a boy like Dante, with his open and unique perspective on life, would be the last person to break down the walls that Ari has built around himself. But against all odds, when Ari and Dante meet, they develop a special bond that will teach them the most important truths of their lives and help define the people they want to be. But there are big hurdles in their way, and only by believing in each other and the power of their friendship can Ari and Dante emerge stronger on the other side. This one is also in my Tackling TBR Jellycat bag, and it just has not been pulled. So hopefully it gets pulled soon because I've owned this for so long that I need to read it. Like, I think I've owned this for at least 5 years, and that's a long time. And I want to go into 2026 with less book baggage. That's what I'm gonna say about that. All right, let's talk about the last book on this list. I've talked about this before. This is Apples Never Fall by Leanne Moriarty. I've read one other Leanne Moriarty book before. This book is 464 pages. Stephen King said funny and scary. I've read The Husband's Secret by her and I actually really enjoyed it. But this one I am excited to read because it will work for November's Buzzword Reading Challenge prompt. The title has to have the word never. So apples never fall works. And then also it needs to have food on it. And there's apples. And I think apples count as food. This one is like a family drama, mystery, possibly thriller. I guess I should look on Goodreads, but this one might have a show. I'm not sure. Maybe it doesn't, but I'm really excited to read this, except it is huge. I did not realize how many of Leanne Moriarty's books have been turned into like shows or series. Okay, fiction, mystery. It's also been tagged for audiobook, so I think that would be really cool if I listened to the audiobook or did an immersive read on this one, because I want to have the best experience possible. But basically there is this like family that is like very well known in their community. They're all really good at tennis. I think the mom goes missing and they're questioning the dad. I don't know. There's a lot of family drama mystery to this, so I'm very excited to read this. Anyways, that is all 10 books I want to read before the end of the year. I have time if I just put my mind to it, right? Like, I just need to do it. So I'm actually just going to stop filming and start reading for a little bit because I need to use my time wisely for sure. But if any of these books you are like absolutely obsessed with and you cannot believe I haven't read them, comment which ones those are below because I need motivation to get these books done. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like me, then subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. If you haven't left a comment already, please do. I love interacting with your comments. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!